collaborative document sharing. We're going to take a look at what does that mean today and how can it help you as you prepare to teach. Well, we're going to take this retro picture of one of my old plan books, and we're going to start to think outside of the plan book. This one, I just had to take a moment to share that the design of this one was a carbonless form that would go into the plan book, and you'd write your plans, and then before you left on Friday, you would put those into your principal's mailbox. Hello, those days are over. Could you imagine the quality that poor principal would take a look at as they slogged through those over the weekend? So we're going to think outside of the plan book. We have to think outside of the plan book because we have to meet the students' needs. And as we try to fit everything in your day, you know how that is. Oh, didn't get to that. Fire drill, whatever it is, and you have to move everything around. Got to think outside of the plan book. And that brings us to the collaborative document sharing. You really even couldn't do this even a few years ago. But now there's so many possibilities of how you can go ahead and use online documents. The great part about this, they're accessible to you anytime, any place, anywhere you can get to the internet. So think outside of the plan book and the bad carbonless form, and we have to think about new ways we can share. Well, lots of you are just getting really good at attaching things on email, but we got to stop email. Email is pretty old school right now. Really, this online collaborative sharing is really where you need to go if you want to be considered a distinguished educator. So think outside of email and think outside of attachments. So, for example, if we're on a committee, and there's 10 of us. Somebody says, I'll do the minutes today. That person then types up the minutes, usually in a word processing document, and then sends them out. Somebody catches this typo, this date change, whatever it is. You're in version 27, and nobody knows where we are. That all changes when you go to an online document. So I'm going to walk you through this. Lots of you, this is brand new, so you may need some time to kind of, whoa, what's going on here? Well, what you're looking at is a shared document that is actually created using Google Drive. And I want you to get the concept before we go into the how-to. The concept is, instead of old school email, where one person has it on their word processing document, then they send it out and attach it, so on and so forth, and we're lost in versions. Instead, you are going to all be on the same document that's online. And we invite you to the document a variety of ways that we'll walk through. But the 10 people come to one place. And you could be typing the notes. Everybody at one time could be typing the notes, the comments, whatever, right during the meeting. And then if you want to reference it later, you go to that shared document. So that's kind of concept. Now we'll get into, hey, how can I do that for planning today? Well, Google Drive is one place that you can do this. There's multiple other places, but I thought let's focus and let's get good at one thing. And Google Drive used to be called Google Docs, so do not be confused. It is now called Google Drive. I've been using it for years. I love it, love it, love it. But the ability for us to all get on the same page is really the overarching concept for this. So Google Drive. Now, Google Drive basically is connecting all of your different devices. So if we're in that meeting with the 10 people, somebody might have an iPad, somebody might have an Android, we've got a couple laptops going on, somebody is on their phone. It doesn't matter, because if you can get to the internet, you can get to that shared document that we created. So it is, think about cloud. We'll get to cloud computing later, but wherever you can get to the internet, if you can get your invite from the person that made the document, we'll talk about that, you can access and all get on the same page. There's a lot of things that you can do within Google Drive. The biggest ones are the creating documents, making spreadsheets, and making presentations. Now, this is a shift in your thinking. You've been able to do that all with software for years. Oh, that's old school. But what this does is it invites other people into the process of creating that document, creating that presentation. That's what Google Drive does. Now, to get in, this is very important. To get in, you go to Google, and you have to have a Gmail account. Many of your schools have already moved over to Gmail. But if you don't, you do need a Gmail account if you are the person that is making the document. If you are not the person making the document and that somebody just wants to invite you into the document, you now can do that without a Gmail account. So if you have, your school email or another email, you can participate in the document, but you just can't be the person to start it. So to start it, to be the owner of the document, you need a Gmail account. So make that Gmail account. Oh, one note, which you'll hear throughout my videos, a reminder. If you are on a public computer, shared computer, make sure you log out of your Gmail account. And no matter where you are in Google, make sure you log out because it keeps you logged in, which is a different concept for you because you're used to, when you turn off your computer at school, that it logs you out. Google doesn't know if your computer's on or not. And so make sure you log out. So you'll hear that kind of warning all the way through. Now, my Google Drive is populated already with documents. So sometimes when I open up Google, because the name changed, sometimes it says Drive, sometimes it says Document. Don't worry about that. Don't worry at all. It's the same thing. But I want you to imagine this is like my library of documents that I have. And here are a few things that you can make today. Of course, it's ever changing, but documents, presentations, forms, so on and so forth. So back to our meeting. One person says, I'll make the Google Doc. They open it up and there's document. Document means word processing. Little note to self. It automatically says untitled document when you open it. Make sure you change your name because I don't want you to be like me and end up with 20 untitled documents. So immediately change the name. A lot of times I'll put the date right there in the top on that document, especially if we're thinking about that meeting, committee meeting, whatever it is. So sometimes I put the date right there. That way I know exactly what document. But set your title. Very important. Now, let's say this is all new to you, but you already have a document that's in process. No worry. You can upload really almost any type of document to Google Drive. So let's say that we're working on something in that committee meeting and we have a template that was made in a word processing program. You can go ahead and just upload it and invite everybody in, as we'll show you, and you can take that original document and now everybody can collaborate on it. So you can go ahead and upload to Google Drive also. Before moving on, I also want to point out at the very bottom, you see from template, there's so many templates that are already done. Groups that have come before you have made different things and they're in templates. Now, we're ready. We're going to do some collaborative planning in our team meeting today. And so what we do is we have to share that document. So somebody with a Gmail account has made the document, and now we're ready for sharing. In the document in the upper right-hand corner, it says share. And you have to be careful. Take some time and really focus on the screen for a minute. Because if you don't share it right, you're going to send it out to somebody, and they won't be able to do a thing with it. So right in the middle, you have options. Public, anyone on the internet, or you can make it private. You can go ahead and do that. I'm the owner. I made the document. So one person does have to be the owner. They can always pass the ownership off, but somebody that makes it has to go ahead and be the owner. You can also add people. See at the bottom where you can go ahead and add people's email addresses or groups. Your email system might be set up that you have a group for different grade levels or departments. You can go ahead and add people that way. Once you make all your changes, then you get, see that big, highlighted in blue, that big address. That big address is what you can give to people that you would like to invite into the document. If you choose to put in email addresses, that's the address that is going to be emailed out to the people that you invited to your committee meeting. And don't fret after we're all done and everything, we're working on everything, we all get on the same page, we can also download it in almost whatever format you want. So it doesn't matter kind of wherever we create this document, we can always convert it. So no panic on that moment. Here's our share button, comments and sharing. And this is usually located in the upper right-hand corner, the share. And you make your changes. Here, it's always going to be, this is key. Whenever you're in Google Drive, you need to understand that you are the owner of that document, is always in charge of who can go ahead and access that document. And you can change it at any point. So let's say that you're working with a student teacher. The student teacher moves on, lands the dream job. Then you can not share that document with them anymore. So it's not something that you have to make a decision that you have to be, connected for life. All right, so here are your sharing settings. I usually do public on the web, thinking really who's going to figure out that address and get to it. I tend to do that unless, this is really important, unless I'm doing some confidential processing of information. I would never recommend to you to go public on the web if you are mentioning any groups of anybody, students or anything like that. You got to be real careful. I would not suggest online document sharing during a team meeting, IEP, things like that. I would not suggest that. This is for collaborative sharing. And so you make your choice between public, anyone with the link, that's more secure, because that means that you give them direct access. And then private. A lot of times I'll keep my documents private while I am kind of composing, thinking, doing, building, and then I'll change my settings. When you saw my library early, just remember that every document can have its own sharing. It's not like you're blanket opening your whole library to everybody. All right, now this is really important. You can see access. You can make it kind of read only. That is, you can only view it. Do not interact with my document. That's view. The other option is you can view it and you can comment, but you can't really get into the minutia of the document. That's really important. And then the other one is can edit. So back to our team meeting or whatever that meeting was with our 10 people, that we would want to set our document to can edit because we want everybody's opinion on that. And so that's what you have to do. So you make all your choices before you invite anybody else in. Now, this was absolutely the real general overview about collaborative document sharing. We cover it in a variety of different times. This is really kind of your opening lens. But what I really would like you to do is think about making that Gmail account if you don't have one, and go ahead and try collaborative document sharing. The best way to do this is create a document, and share it with a teammate, and send them the email, and then get on the same page. It's really kind of it's wow the first time you do it. It's like, wait, whoa, what do you mean we're all on the same page? It's a whole different concept. So take some time to play, to work, to investigate, and sit back and go, wow, because that really is amazing when you start to think that we could do the exact same thing from our phone, hey, it's going to snow today, we could go home, and we all can be on the same page. That's kind of the magic of it. So you're going to learn this by doing this. You're going to run into some problems. We'll cover those in lots of the videos, but get in and get your mind around this whole concept. Thanks.